Going live. All right, there it is. I just randomly talk sometimes just to get things started, but here we are, guys. Welcome to Believers Talk. My name is Joe, and welcome to this live edition of Believers Talk, where we're going to talk about some stuff. There is some stuff happening with the Buffalo Bills that we need to talk about. Some things that are important and some things that aren't so important, but we're going to talk about it anyway. Obviously, I'm going to take your comments, guys. We're live on a Thursday night as normal. So again, guys, thank you for joining me for this edition of Believers Talk. If you're new to the channel, this is your first time here, or you've been here a couple times, just unsure, my name is Joe. I appreciate all you guys being in here. While you're here, guys, make sure you hit that thumbs up button. Let me know that you like the content, and also leave a comment. Let me know what you think. Hey, Tara, how you doing? Jamar, how you doing? Good to see you guys in here again on this wonderful Thursday night, 9:30. Again, every Thursday night we are live right here on Believers Talk. So you want to make sure, if you're not already subscribed, you hit that subscribe button, hit that notification bell, as we will continue to keep you updated on all Buffalo Bills news. And also, like I said, leave a comment if you haven't already. Apex is in the house, the stud. How you doing, Nate? Good to see you too. Any Buffalo sports fan, hey guys. Can I shout you out, Jameer Harold? Am I saying that right? Of course I can shout you out. I will shout out every single Buffalo Bills fan that comes into this place, baby. I'm loving every minute of it, guys. Again, if you have any questions, any thoughts, please leave me a comment. I'm going to wait a few minutes to let people get in here before we start talking about Josh Norman and what he had to say to TMZ and what it means potentially for the Buffalo Bills. We like the confidence, right? We like the confidence. We're going to talk about the big picture on the thumbnail. We're going to talk about Josh Allen and Matt Barkley meeting with some of the Buffalo Bills. All Bills talk is important, absolutely. Especially when it's with you guys. When it's with you guys, it's just so much fun. I look forward to these all week long. I look forward to talking with you guys. I have a great life. I'm not saying I don't, but man, when I get to talk with you guys, it's a lot of fun. Let's go Buffalo, says the Evil Crazy 8. Absolutely, guys. I hope you guys are all being safe out there, right? We're hearing about some states beginning to reopen, beginning to get things started. Arizona saying, hey, pro sports, come on back. You have Florida saying, hey, pro sports, come on back. You got NASCAR starting this weekend. Some of you might not be NASCAR fans. I completely understand that. You can only watch cars go around in a circle for so long, right? But it's the beginning of something, right? It's the beginning of something. UFC came back just last weekend. We know that there's going to be a golf outing this coming up weekend with Tiger Woods and Phil Mickelson. Tom Brady's going to be there. Peyton Manning also going to be there. So we know that sports, hey guys, glad you guys are in here. She Walters, Kevin, glad you guys can make it in. So we know that sports are happening. And once those dominoes start falling, it's only a matter of time before the big ones go, right? You're talking about maybe the NBA coming back for the playoff push. Will hockey come back? Hockey's coming kind of silent over everything that's going on. You got baseball coming back. I can't do a loud noise, so I just hit a single. I don't know how to, I don't know how to make a big noise like that. But baseball will come back hopefully soon as well. You got the Masters maybe coming. Tennis needs to get back started. And then, of course, we're all waiting for August. That's all we care about. Open up OTAs. Let's get this thing going. Scott Blakely, thank you for the $4.99 donation. Good to see you, too. He writes, good to see you, Joe. What do I think about pumped in cheers? Not a fan, personally, of such an idea. We saw that Fox was playing around with the idea of having fake crowd noise for the effect of the fans watching on TV. But guys, we have to remember something. You're not going to hear it anyway. Why aren't you going to hear that? Because if there's football, both Hashtag Sports and Believers Talk are going to have you covered with live play-by-play and analysis of every single game. And we want you to join the conversation. So turn down the TV, watch the game with us as we break it down for you, and then leave a comment, join the conversation. That's right, Hashtag Sports Believers Talk. If you're new to this channel, giving you live play-by-play to every single Buffalo Bills game. So if you come on to YouTube, you can watch the game at home, turn it on mute, or if you don't get the game, you can watch us on YouTube, give you a live play-by-play, and you can join the conversation with fellow Bills fans. Again, Scott, thank you for the $4.99 donation. But yeah, so I'm not going to hear it, right? I'm not going to hear the fake crowd noise even if they do it, so I really don't care. I think it doesn't help the game at all. The football fans want to watch football. This isn't like excuse me, this isn't like the WWE, who's been running events without fans, and you really miss some of that interaction. Like, you can feel it. You can tell there's not that big of an interaction in the WWE. It's not like that. Football fans want to watch football, and we don't care. In fact, what we saw with the MMA, which some people should think about, what we saw with the MMA is without the crowd there, you were able to hear the hits more, right? You were able to get that sound, that pop, because you're not hearing 20,000, 30,000 fans cheering or chatting with each other. You're not hearing the cheerleaders on the sideline. You're not hearing the loud play-by-play announcers and everything going off in the stadium. You get to hear the hits even more. So personally, Scott, I think I agree with you. Hey, Trix, good to see you in here. Glad that you watched the Sammy Watkins video. Sammy Watkins going a little crazy, going a little cuckoo, but that's okay. Hey, again, as I said in the video, if it makes him happy, then I'm all for it. Good for you, Sammy Watkins. Wishing you the best of luck, whatever you do. But yeah, like Scott, like as far as that's concerned with the sound, I'm not gonna worry about it. But personally, I'm with you. I don't think that we need that. We want to hear the hits, right? We don't mind hearing. Now they'll have to check those mics, right? They'll have to check those mics, make sure people ain't saying too much, players aren't saying too much. But if they check those mics and make sure that we don't hear too many F-bombs going off, I think it's a good thing to sometimes hear those pops. Hear a conversation with the referee and the player. You know, a quarterback drops back, gets it after the throw. Hear them talk back and forth. I think transparency is a good thing. Austin Church is in the house. Thank you for joining me, guys. Guys, I love reading your comments, so keep them coming. If I miss your comment, if you want me to read something, go ahead and hit that super chat button. It helps out the channel, and all the proceeds that I receive go back into the channel. So I do appreciate that as I keep you up to date on all Buffalo Bills news. So again, Scott, thank you very much. Dan says the LA Falcons got in trouble for having fake crowd noise playing over the PA system. I think that if Fox News goes with this, you wonder what would happen because again, you can't have fake news. You can't have fake noise playing over the loud system to interfere with the game. But if they have fake noise just going through the TV monitors maybe, and so you hear it at home, maybe that's what they're talking about. Who knows what they have planned, but I'm sure that the NFL is going to have restrictions for the TV broadcasts, and I'm sure that the TV broadcasts will figure something out. Again, guys, thank you for joining me on Believers Talk. You know, Watkins was never talking about and getting back to Bills. That's what being said. Well, again, you have two sides to that story, right? And I talked about that in my previous video. You have two sides to that story. You know, Brandon Beane might be afraid of tampering regulations, right? He might have tampered because remember, so he traded for Stephon Diggs, but unlike Emmanuel Sanders, you had Sammy Watkins who was still on a contract with the Kansas City Chiefs. So if there were some sort of tampering rules that might have been broken, Brandon Beane might have just poo-pooed that idea right from the start and said, no, we weren't talking to him. And again, he could have heard a rumor from somewhere else that Sammy Watkins could have heard a rumor from somewhere else. So I'm not saying that the Bills didn't say anything about him, but at the same time, I think that would have been ridiculous. But then you have to ask yourself, right? Because if we get Sammy Watkins, we still have our first-round draft pick. So would you rather T. Higgins and Sammy Watkins, or would you rather Stephon Diggs and John Brown? And that's a fair question, I think. I think that's a very fair question. I would rather Stephon Diggs and Isaiah Hodgins or whoever we would get there. But again, guys, that's what I think about the noise in the stadium. If you want to hear more about my Sammy Watkins take, watch the previous video after we're done here. I see Amy has joined the chat. So again, thank you for joining me, Amy. Always glad to see you in this chat. Glad that your brother's doing well. Okay, I can't say that enough. I'm really glad to hear that. The stud, true, absolutely. Just one step closer into making the NFL into a reality show now that they're going to insert fake laughter and fake cheers. I hope not. I really hope they don't do that, but that's okay. Diggs was a steal. I love the fact we got Stephon Diggs. I saw an article, I think it was on Buffalo Rumblings. I'm not sure where it was, about Stephon Diggs making it to his first Pro Bowl this season and how it's a possibility. I absolutely believe it's a possibility. I think this is going to help out Josh Allen immensely. And obviously, we're going to talk more about that as the season gets closer and closer and closer. I'm looking forward to it. I hope you guys are as well. And like I said, if you haven't hit that subscribe button, be sure to do that. Hey, Anthony, glad to see you in here. Diggs was the best move by any team in this offseason, in my opinion. I don't know. I'm not sure. You talk about getting Houston's traded with Arizona. I think Arizona got much bigger steal there with Hopkins going to Arizona than we did with Diggs. I love Diggs. I'm glad we got him. But if you were to tell me we could have got Hopkins for, let's say, you know, I don't know who you're going to throw out there, Trent Murphy and I don't know, TJ Yeldon in a second, I would have taken it. Scott Blakely coming with another $4.99 donation. Thank you very much for that. Any feeling in Moss unsigned? I don't think it's a big deal, but he is the last signed. Well, the Buffalo Bills, and I talked about this, I'm not sure when it was. I think it was the last time I went live, maybe last week, maybe Tuesday of this week, I'm not sure. The Buffalo Bills have actually signed 6 of their 7 draft picks. And at the time of my last live stream, there were only 1 of 4 teams that have signed multiple draft picks. So I'm not worried about it. I'm not worried about it at all. In fact, Paul from Hashtag Sports just put up a good video on it on why you should not be worried. So after you're done here, checking this video out, hanging out with me for a little bit, check out Paul, what he said at Hashtag Sports. Great content over there. Much smarter than I am when it comes to contract things. So he breaks it down for you pretty good and why it's not a big deal. But what they could be discussing, what's going on, why it might be taking a little bit longer. But I'm not worried about it at all. I think that we're going to be just fine. Again, we've already signed 6 of our 7 draft picks, which is more than most teams in the NFL. So I'm not worried about it at all. And the fact that we saw Zach Moss with Josh Allen, with Isaiah Hodgins, with Matt Barkley, that end with Gabe Davis, that gives me good feelings about what's going on with Zach Moss as far as his commitment to the Buffalo Bills. I have no problems with it at all. I don't think there is much room to negotiate. The negotiations, and again, you'll have to go over to Paul over at Hashtag Sports. He breaks down really nicely, so I don't want to steal his thunder here. But a lot of the negotiations have to do with signing bonuses and things like that. So that's what you want to look out for when you're talking about these signings. Not a lot of room for negotiations, not like it was 15 years ago, but at the same time, there is still some room. There's still some precedent. And again, he breaks down very nicely, so I'm not going to steal any of his stats, any of his thoughts. Just go over to Hashtag Sports when we're done here. They do a great job breaking that down. Diggs' contract is too good to pass up. No, I agree with you. But let's be honest. If you give me the option between Diggs and Hopkins, I'm taking Hopkins, right? But Diggs is a great deal. 4 years left on his contract, about half the price as Amari Cooper's newest contract. So I think it's a great deal all in all. I think the main part, negotiates guarantee money. Yes, spin, absolutely. And again, he talks about that over there. There seems to be a bit of a quirk in the CBA where there is more wiggle room for negotiations than in other 6 rounds. That's very possible, but you also have to talk about the wiggle room with the running back position as well. We'll see what happens. But guys, I've waited about 15 minutes. I want to get into some of my talking points for this live stream, but I think it's very important that we start with one in particular. For many of you, you already know this and you spent the day remembering and reflecting. And, you know, I haven't had a chance to do that, you know, between work and coming home with the family. I haven't really had a chance to do that, so I'm doing that right here with you guys right now. For those of you who don't know, today, May 14th, marks the 1-year anniversary of the death of Buffalo Bills superfan Pancho Villa, Ezra Castro, for those of you who don't know. And, you know, he just epitomized what a Buffalo Bills fan is. He was definitely the biggest Bills fan that I've ever known. Unfortunately, I never got the pleasure of meeting Ezra Castro. I have had conversations with him, talk about him even coming on this channel at times. When I went to the Buffalo Bills versus Jacksonville Jaguars game in Buffalo, it was my first Buffalo Bills game in quite some time in Buffalo. I had a conversation with him about where to go. He introduced me to Pinto Ron, and we had a good time there. So it was a great time. And I wish I would have got a better chance to thank him. You know, obviously I thanked him via direct message. But yeah, this is just one of those things that you have to remember. You always are going to remember on May 14th what this means and just who Pancho Villa was. And to kind of tell you, I can't tell you fully who Ezra Castro was, right? I didn't know him personally. As I'm reading stories on Twitter, as I'm seeing things on Instagram, I know that he meant so much to so many people. And my heart and my prayers and my thoughts go out to all those people, his family, his friends, and all my condolences go out to those people on this day and every day that they have to live without who may call it one of the greatest men they ever met. what they have to go through just in his memory. But just to give you an idea of how great of a person Pancho Villa, Ezra Castro was, one of his dying wishes was not to have flowers at his funeral. One of his dying wishes was to, instead of flowers, have backpacks made for kids with school supplies. And that's still going on. That's still something that goes on. In fact, maybe when I'm done with this video, if you're not watching this live, I'll find the link and I'll put it in the description for you. So if you want to donate to help these kids who might not have the funds to get the school supplies that they need, that you can just donate some money. You know, they get pencils, they get pens, they get binders, they get all those things that you need to go to school. You just really, yeah, and I see you guys coming in. RIP, yeah, just really sad to know about Pancho. But hey, Buffalo Bills fan, 27-17. We're starting off with the remembrance of Pancho Villa, and just again the type of man he was. Again, I didn't know Ezra Castro personally. I just know him from the few DMs that we had. I wish I would have had the honor of meeting him personally, but I just didn't, and it's just unfortunate. Again, last year on this day, he of course died from cancer. I don't want to say lost the fight. You know, I think of Stuart Scott's speech at the ESPYs the year before he passed away to cancer. And you don't lose your fight. When you die, you don't lose. You beat cancer in how you live and in the manner of which you live. And from everything I heard about Pancho Villa, he lived his life to the fullest every single day. And again, one of his last wishes to be helping out kids is just a complete selfless act. And there's just, you know, there's just a special place in heaven. I don't know if you believe in heaven or how I do, but there's just a special place in heaven for people like that. And, you know, I just wish his family, hope his family, nothing but the best as they continue to remember him. And we will continue to remember him here, you know, on Believers Talk as we continue to honor the best of Buffalo Bills, and that's what he was. He was the best of Buffalo Bills. So I wanted to talk about that for a little bit. And again, I saw some of you comment in the comment section. I donated for a few backpacks. Good cause. It's a great cause. It absolutely is. Anything you can do to help out kids is always a good cause, and to help kids with their schooling and to know that you can make a difference is something that's very special. And Viva Los Bills, right? Pancho Villa opened up that door for people who weren't sure how to do it, and now there's a way to do it, and it's still going on. Like I said, I'll leave the link in the description below after we're done here. But again, he was a Bills fan 24/7, 365. He absolutely was. And again, he exemplified what it is to be a Buffalo Bills fan, and he was definitely part of the Bills family, and we will miss him. We love him, and we just wish his family nothing but the best during this time. So wanted to talk about that. Wanted to start the show off that way. Again, this is the 1 year anniversary, so we wanted to do something for that. Like I said, I didn't really get a chance to do that today during work or when I came home to do it with my family. But I just want to do that with you guys, the Bills family, right? Bills Mafia. Just want to celebrate the life of Ezra Castro. So we also want to talk about some other Buffalo Bills things, right? We have some Buffalo Bills news that we want to talk about, including what Josh Norman said on TMZ, and also including the picture that we saw of both Josh Allen and Matt Barkley being sorry. And now I need to collect my thoughts, guys. See, you get me all worked up. Here, let me take a minute. All right, so we want to talk about how we saw a picture of Matt Barkley and Josh Allen meeting with some of the Buffalo Bills draft picks, and we're talking about Hodgins, we're talking about Gabe Davis, and we're talking about Zach Moss, of course, three of the newest Buffalo Bills from this year's past draft. So we want to talk about that, and again, we talk about, you know, Scott Blakely, you again asked the question, and again, thank you for the donations. You asked the question about if I'm concerned about Zach Moss's fact that he hasn't signed yet. He's the only Buffalo Bills draft pick that has not signed. And that picture to me says 1,000 words, right? That picture to me proves his dedication, that even among all this craziness going on around the world. And listen, we're not going to get into Joe's getting misty. No, not yet. But maybe if you kept me going, I'm sure I would. But we're not going to talk about whether it's wrong or right for them to meet under these circumstances. I don't care about that. They're grown men. They can make up their own minds. And you have your own beliefs about that. I have mine. And we're just going to leave it at that. That's fine. But just the fact that he is willing to meet with these other guys, that he's willing to meet with current Buffalo Bills players, shows his commitment to the team, and shows that he's ready to be a Buffalo Bill. His agent is going to work everything out with the contract details. And like I said, after this, go over to #sports. Paul does a great job breaking down some of the things that are probably going on in the negotiations with the Buffalo Bills and with Zach Moss's agent as we speak. But I'm not worried about it. I'm not worried about it at all. I mean, what are we missing out on? Listen, I think that this year more than any other year, it's important to get your players signed as soon as possible. Just due to the fact that OTAs have been a little askewed as of late, just because we're not sure what kind of training camp we're going to get from these players. We're not sure what kind of preseason we are going to have. As long as they don't have it. As long as they don't have it come August, right? As long as they don't have it come August, we're good. We're good to go. But we knew that Josh Allen was hanging out with Sam Darnold and some other another quarterback, I believe, when they were in quarantine. So we knew that they were self-quarantined there. And listen, it's not a problem to meet with other players. It's not a problem to meet with other people, right? I mean, you talk about meeting with family, you talk about meeting with some friends. I mean, what's wrong with that? You go to the grocery store, how many people you're running into? That's all I'm saying. But anyway, so we're just happy to see them getting together, even if it's just for a day, even if they don't practice on the field, even if it's just getting to know each other. We're happy to see them getting together. Now, we did see them on the field, so obviously they were working out some things for sure. By the way, who took the picture? What if it was Ken Dorsey behind the camera taking the picture? Then you have the QB coach there working with these guys. Yeah, Karen has a great point. Knox took a while to sign too, and we weren't talking about that in October, that's for sure. So we're glad to see that. Hey, Madden's fans in the chat. Buffalo Bills theme team video. I am a huge Madden fan. I don't play well. Like I see all these other guys, doing the Madden things on their channel, doing Madden challenges. The Don Mafia, he just said that yesterday in his live chat, he talked about how he got a PS4 or whatever, and that he's gonna start playing Madden. I wish I was good. I'm not that good at it, but I do enjoy it. So I'll check that out after the live stream here. But yeah, I think that this is a good thing to see Gabe Davis, Isaiah Hodgins, and Zach Moss together working out with Josh Allen and Matt Barkley. I think it's a good thing. So we're going to see easy on the boost. This is number 1, Kyle. Number 1. But let me know what you think, guys. Do you think that there's an issue with these guys getting together? Do you think seeing Zach Moss with these other Buffalo Bills players is a good, positive sign? Or again, do you think it doesn't really matter? Again, I think Zach Moss is going to sign with the Buffalo Bills. I don't see it being an issue at any point. Zach Moss not signing with the Buffalo Bills. Again, there's not a whole lot of wiggle room. It's all about guaranteed money. What's going to be guaranteed and what isn't going to be guaranteed, and what Zach Moss's next steps are going to be. But again, that's something that his attorney and the Buffalo Bills are probably working out as we speak. I'm not going to worry about it until mid-August. When mid-August hits and Zach Moss still isn't signed, then we'll talk. Up until then, I'm not concerned about it at all. I think he is focused on playing football, and that picture that we saw kind of proves that. It proves that he is thinking about playing football. He wants to get back on the field, whatever it takes. Then he wants to know the scheme. He wants to know this team. He wants to know how this team works. He wants to know this team's playbook. And that's what they were probably discussing before that picture and probably after that picture was taken. So glad to see them working out. Glad to see them not hiding in a little shell in a corner and not helping out other teammates. You got to help these rookies out. It's going to give us an edge come September, come October, come when we're able to play football again. It's going to give us just that little bit of an edge, right? It's all about the inches, right? In football, I think about Al Pacino's speech on like any given Sunday about those inches, right? It's those inches that matter. That's what's going to help you win those games. Looking at your other guy and saying, I trust you, right? And this is a proof that they trust each other, that they are relying on each other to make Bills Mafia, to make the Buffalo Bills that much stronger, to make them Super Bowl contenders, to give them that edge to win the AFC's title for the first time in over 20 years, guys. That is what the Buffalo Bills need to get a little bit ahead of these other teams. So I'm really looking forward to it. Cody, welcome to Believers Talk. I've been on since 9:30, so 26 minutes. We started off the show remembering a Buffalo Bills legend, Pancho, and I'm just talking about that picture that we saw with Josh Allen, Matt Barkley, Zach Moss, Gabe Davis, and Isaiah Hodgins together, the one that you see on the thumbnail. That's how long I've been on. That's what you've missed so far. Allen and Diggs meeting up next week. That's something else I would love to see. Allen and Diggs need to get on the same page, right? Now, we look forward to seeing Diggs because hopefully Josh Allen doesn't throw the ball over his head as much. Hopefully Diggs can track the ball down, but that's something they need to work on. But the Buffalo Bills have a huge edge going into the season, whether it be knowing the team around them. Again, last year was our rebuild year, right? 4 out of 5 new offensive linemen, 9 out of 11 new starters on offense. And one of those 11 we got rid of midseason in Zay Jones. So 10 new starters at least one point last season. So last year was the year where we kind of got things figured out. Now this year we can put it all together and we can be the AFC, hopefully bring home an AFC East championship to Buffalo and then see what we can do in the playoffs. See what we can do with a couple of home games in Buffalo. I saw the USA Today standing, the one that they put out, their predictions for next season. They have the Bills going 10-6. They have the Bills winning the AFC East. It's the first time I've been okay with USA Today's predictions. Remember last season, they had the Bills finish 3rd in the division. Last season, they didn't give the Bills a shot. Now this year they have us going 10-6. I like it. Cody comes in, fellow Bills fans, and most importantly, my fellow bettors. Bets are plus 2,000 for the Bills to win the Super Bowl, plus 120 for them to win the AFC East, and plus 1,600 for Bills to make the AFC Championship game. I'm betting 5,000. Enjoy that, Cody. Best of luck to you. Between the three of y'all, better get in on it. I'm already in on it, Cody, so don't worry about that. We all know the best wide receiver is Diggs, but in your opinion, who is better nearly? I'm sorry, Nate, you're going to have to retype that for me. I'm sorry, maybe it's the drinking. Beasley? Are you trying to say Beasley or Brown? You got your phone on and you can't. I think Beasley's better than Brown. I think I would not be surprised if Beasley has more receptions than Brown this year. I think that's a very big possibility. I think Beasley's just always open. Can we drop Lee Smith and Hauschka and pick up Ansah? William asks, I think Hauschka is in trouble. Obviously, you draft a kicker in the 5th round or the 6th round, and we draft a kicker at all, and I think that equals trouble for the starting kicker for your team. As I said when I did the coverage on the Buffalo Bills during the draft, I think it's currently a 50-50 race, and I do give Hauschka an advantage because he is a veteran. However, I give the kicker we drafted a little bit of an edge because if we drop Stephen Hauschka, that saves the Buffalo Bills $1.5 million in salary cap space. So I definitely think it's going to be a tight race, right? And that's why I think it's positions like that why I think preseason and training camp matter for the Buffalo Bills. And I don't know if you guys saw this. The Buffalo Bills are in talks with the Atlanta Falcons about holding dual camps, right? Most of the time we see this with other teams. The Buffalo Bills talking with the Atlanta Falcons about when we're able to do training camp. The Buffalo Bills and Atlanta Falcons doing dual camps together. So if you didn't hear that, you heard it here first. The Buffalo Bills looking to do training camp sessions with the Atlanta Falcons. Gives you a little bit of a different look, right? You're playing an opposing team, a team you're not going to play in the 2020 season, so you don't have to worry about, lining up across from each other and seeing what each other has, putting R1s against third ones, best against best, and seeing how we compare to some other teams in the NFL without having to go through preseason games, without having to really risk too much as far as health of these players when it comes to competitive games on the field. So we'll see what happens there, but currently the Bills in talks with the Atlanta Falcons. Normally these talks lead to something, and the Buffalo Bills and Atlanta Falcons will probably meet up somewhere. It'll be interesting to see where they meet, though. For training camp, probably meet somewhere halfway, maybe in Virginia. I'm not sure where the Bills will plan to meet for that, but we'll see what happens. Do I think Corey is safe to make the roster under the current circumstances? Are you talking about our punter, Corey Bajorges? And yes, I'll mess up his name all the time. I don't care anymore. No, I don't think he's safe at all. He shouldn't be. He's terrible. Two separate skill types. Beasley was underused last year, in my opinion. Absolutely, I completely agree with that, especially in that playoff game against Houston. Definitely undervalued there. But the last thing, or at least the third thing that I want to talk about, that I want to bring to light here, are the comments made by Josh Norman to TMZ. TMZ currently had an interview with Josh Norman where they asked him about what he expects out of himself this season, and he told them straight out that he expects to be all-world, right? He expects to not only be all-pro, he expects to go above and beyond. They talk about, obviously, the connection between Norman and McDermott. Norman being the head coach, defensive coordinator in Carolina when Josh Norman was there. And you remember how good Josh Norman was with the Carolina Panthers, right? Josh Norman was a great cornerback for the Carolina Panthers, made a few Pro Bowls, made one Pro Bowl, I should say, in 2015. He was a first-team All-Pro also in 2015. He's looking to get back to that. Let's go over those numbers real quick. Let's pretend for a second, which would be outstanding, which would be insane, out of this world. Let's pretend for a second that he becomes an All-Pro, first-team All-Pro again. Let's look at those 2015 stats. He had 4 interceptions, 2 touchdowns, 46 was his long return. He had 3 forced fumbles, 2 fumble recoveries, 56 tackles, and he had 18 pass deflections. I mean, if he can get us those numbers, we're in good shape. We're in great shape. So I want to see him back to at least 50%. Now, I watched some of Dan Mitchell's live stream yesterday, and he's a lot higher on Josh Norman than I am, and that's not because I'm not high on Josh Norman. I like Josh Norman. I think he's going to have a good bounce back year, but he was talking about comeback player of the year, and I just don't see him doing that well because he will have to do amazing. Beyond amazing. He will have to have the best numbers of his career this season in order to have a chance to win that award. Think about some of the players that are going to be up for comeback player of the year this year. You got Big Ben. You got Rob Gronkowski. You got Matthew Stafford. You have J.J. Watt. You have... Who am I missing? I'm missing somebody. But those are some of the names you're going up against when you talk about trying to become comeback player of the year. Oh, yeah, you got Cam Newton. You got some of these big names. Can't wait for Josh Norman. He has a huge chip on his shoulder. I believe that, and I believe that he is going to do well. But you also got to believe at some point in the season there's going to be a rotation, right? Levi Wallace is still there. Are they going to move him to the slot? They got a slot corner. So what are they going to do with Levi Wallace? You think there's going to be some kind of rotation, right? Johnson and Wallace had a rotation last year, right? When one guy was hot, he was in more. When the other guy was hot, he was in more. So you got to believe there's going to be some kind of rotation. And unless Josh Norman immediately takes the job and immediately takes off with it, which is going to be hard to believe, because remember, this is not Coach McDermott's scheme, defensive scheme. This is Coach Leslie Frazier's scheme, run under head coach Sean McDermott. So there's a little bit of a difference than what Josh Norman is going to be used to coming in as he was in Carolina. Truth to Heart's welcome, buddy. Glad to see you in here. Norman is like Woody when he went to his house, was misused and abused. Hey, with Toy Story, thank you. I actually have a 2-year-old, and I'm not gonna lie, I'm a little bit of a Disney nut myself. So yeah, I got Toy Story. I get the Toy Story references. Thank you, though. Spin says Cam Newton won't play this year unless the starting quarterback gets injured. You never know. Look how the starting quarterbacks got injured last season, right? I just named 2 of them with Big Ben. Well, 3 of them with Cam Newton, Big Ben, and Matthew Stafford. So there are definitely some big comeback player of the year candidates out there, and I just don't think Josh Norman is up at that level just yet. But maybe he surprises everybody. Let's say he has 4, 5 interceptions this season, 1 or 2 touchdowns, maybe a few sacks, maybe 60 to 70 tackles, 20 pass deflections. Then I would put him in that category. But I'm just not. And then he would be a Pro Bowler. Then he would be an All-Pro. But that's the thing. That's what makes him different than, let's say, a Big Ben or Matthew Stafford. He has to play out of his mind to win that. If Big Ben puts up average Big Ben stats, it's going to be hard not to say that he is the comeback player of the year if the Steelers are winning, right? That's just the thing, is there's too many players in more key positions than cornerback, like quarterback, like tight end, that will get the nod before a cornerback does, right? So that's just my opinion. Let me know what you think in the comment section. Like to read your comments, guys. I'll go through those real quick. Again, thank you for joining me on Believers Talk. If you're new, go ahead and hit that subscribe button. If you're just joining here, hit that thumbs up button as we continue to talk about Buffalo Bills football. Remember, we started off the live stream talking about Pancho Villa, remembering Ezra Castro today. The 1-year anniversary of his passing, the biggest Bills fan I've ever known, and his legacy will live on for a long, long time. I won't let it stop, so I will continue to talk about Pancho Villa. Again, still, you can still go and donate to give backpacks to children. One of Ezra Castro's final wishes was that we gave support to children in schools, and one way to do that is to send some donations their way to get kids backpacks with the essentials that they will need for this next coming school year. So again, that's what we talk about. Hey, Ghost, how you doing? Glad to see you in here. Jack Patrick comes in and says this is the year. Absolutely, very excited about it. Then we talked a little bit about that thumbnail that you saw, the picture of Josh Allen and Matt Barkley meeting with Zach Moss, meeting with Gabe Davis, and then meeting with Isaiah Hodgins, the 5 of them taking a picture together. Again, 3 Buffalo Bills 2020 draft picks. Glad to see them getting together, right? Getting together, trying to figure some things out. I think it's very important for these guys to try to get together as much as they can during this offseason. Listen, team facilities might be closed, right? But that does not mean you can't work out. And, like I said, Arizona is now opening back up. Florida is now opening back up. Let's get some of these players down there, okay? I'm not saying throw caution to the wind when it comes to this pandemic. I'm not saying that at all. But you can do it in a smart way that makes Josh Allen available to a Stephon Diggs, who we just brought in this season, that makes Josh Allen available to the draft picks, that makes these defensive coordinators, Leslie Frazier, available to AJ Epineza, right? These are all important things that you could potentially do during this time, that you can get ready. You don't have to have the facilities open in order to work out, in order to do so. Also, we talked about Josh Norman at TMZ. TMZ asking him what kind of season he expects to have. He says all world, right? All world type season. Talking about him coming back with Sean McDermott. Was there in Carolina when Coach McDermott was the defensive coordinator. Another thing that I want to talk about today, or right now, is something that came out earlier today when Dion Dawkins was doing a show. He talked about how the Buffalo Bills still need to look at themselves as the underdog. And Bills Mafia, I'm telling you this right now, we do. Dion Dawkins is correct. Everyone's in here, even Jack Patrick just came in and said, this is our year, and I believe you. I believe you. But it's not going to be our year if we think that right now. If we know that we're untouchable right now, we will crumble. We need to do the small things, including meeting outside of OTAs, meeting when other teams aren't meeting with their draft picks. Do the small things right now. It's what you do in May. It's what you do in June. It's what you do in August. Those are the things that prepare you to win in September, in October, in November. That's what makes a team. So yes, I expect us to win the division this year. Yes, I agree with Jack Patrick. This is our year. But as Dion Dawkins says, we're still the underdogs. We still haven't won anything. The last time we won a division was over 20 years ago. So we have 4 primetime games. The Cleveland Browns had 4 primetime games in 2019. How'd they do? How'd they do? Did they win a division? Did they make the playoffs? Or were they the most underachieving team that we can think of in the past decade? The hype around the Cleveland Browns last year, 4 primetime games, they can't get the job done. Odell Beckham, Jarvis Landry, Chubb, they got it all, but they don't got the wins. They don't got that team chemistry. We build that team chemistry starting right now. And that is how we're going to win this division. I saw some people coming in here. Hey, Dan, glad to see you in here. I actually just referenced you yesterday. Dan, hey, you know what? I'm already drinking, man. I don't have the Red Bull, but thank you very much for the donation. Was talking about your stream last night. Guys, Dan Mitchell going live every Wednesday now, I believe, right, Dan? Let them know in the comment section. So you can catch Dan on Wednesday. You can check out me on Thursday. I mean, but check me out. I don't mean in a sexual way. That's weird. But you can come on here on Thursday. We can chat up as well. All your Buffalo Bills news all week long. But yeah, let them know in the comment section, Dan. Is it Wednesday now that you'll be doing that? I know you said that yesterday. You'll try to stick to Wednesdays, but you've been on Thursdays. I know. By the way, wish your girlfriend a belated happy birthday for me. Last week was her birthday, so everyone in here wish Dan's girlfriend a happy birthday. I'm going to get some of these comments. Dom Mafia, absolutely in the house. I haven't swore yet, though, so you can make them on at the right time. Let me get some of your comments. Cody Finney, Wednesday nights. Perfect, Dan. Let's do it. I'm looking like a genius when I put 1K on the bill. He's still talking about his bets. He's still talking about his bets. Guys, listen to Cody. Put some money down on the Buffalo Bills. Vegas needs the money right now, okay? Vegas loves the money. Bring it in. Bring it in. You know, all these casinos are closed right now, so they're looking for the bets. But again, we have plenty to be excited about. Remember, as I said, Arizona opening up to professional sports coming back. You got Florida opening up today to professional sports coming back. Tomorrow, Friday, a lot of these states are going to start opening, including Pennsylvania, including New York, going to start opening up a little bit more, right? We're beginning to see it. UFC is back. NASCAR is back. You got golf going on this weekend. And you might not be a fan of any of those things, but now you have to be a fan of those things because they're back. And how these guys do might determine when the NFL, when the NBA, when the NHL start coming back as well. So I know you might not be a fan. Thank you, perfect. Happy Mother's Day too, absolutely, to all those mothers out there who are watching. Happy Mother's Day. But yeah, I know you might not be a fan of those sports. NASCAR is like 40 people right now looking at these cars in a garage. If they come out unscathed, then that leads to good things for other sports potentially. So I'm looking forward to that. Amy says, what's my favorite game on the schedule? Mine is definitely a Chiefs game at home. Actually, it's funny. My favorite game for this season right now, as we speak, right now, is not on the Bills schedule. It's not even a Buffalo Bills game. And this is how it normally works with me. And this is probably, once you get where I'm going at here, you'll understand. The game I'm most looking forward to this season is the first one. And I'm not talking about the first Bills game. And maybe even this year it's more prevalent than any other year because we're not sure, right? Normally when the schedule comes out, it says, hey, September blank, the defending Super Bowl champions are playing against these guys on Thursday night. We're like, okay, well, we know when the first game is. But in a year, unlike any other year, when we're not sure what's going to happen and when it's going to happen, the game I'm looking forward to the most is the Houston Texans going into Kansas City and playing the Kansas City Chiefs. Then I can start thinking about what the Buffalo Bills are going to do. Then I can start thinking about my favorite Buffalo Bills game on the schedule. But the game I'm looking forward to the most is the first NFL game of the season. If you're talking about the Buffalo Bills, Amy, if you're talking about the Buffalo Bills, we'll get into that right now. My favorite game on the Buffalo Bills schedule has to be that Week 8 game when the Buffalo Bills are at home against the New England Patriots, right? If you want to win this division, to beat, I said it last week on the stream, I'll say it this week again, and I'm sweating right now, so I'll do my best Ric Flair impression. To be the man, woo, you have to beat the man, right? Right now, New England's the man. I don't care who's there. I don't care who's not there. I don't care. New England has won the division 17 out of 19 years. They're the man. So let's beat the man. That's what I'm excited about. I'm excited about proving to everybody that we're the team to beat in the AFC East. If we beat Kansas City, that's great. I even said that on this channel when the schedule came out. I expect to beat Kansas City because it's a Thursday night game. And we know how much the home team is favored in a Thursday night game just because of the home team on a short week. I expect to beat the Chiefs. I don't think it can happen. I don't think it can happen. I'm not doing a little dance around it. No, I want the Chiefs to come into Buffalo, and I want us to prove that we're the better team that day. Now, when we play in the playoffs, it might be a different story. But as for week 6, short week in Buffalo, I expect to win that game. I just do. But yeah, so if you're talking about what game on the Bills schedule I'm most looking forward to, it's that first game against New England, the game in Buffalo. If you're talking about what game I'm looking forward to the most this NFL season, it's the first one. Give me that first game. Let me sit here. And guys, remember, on Thursday nights, during the... I'm showing that. Absolutely, Dan. Absolutely, Dan. Let's go. Let's get fired up. Let's get fired up. Remember, every Thursday night, during the football season, I come to you live during halftime of Thursday Night Football. During the offseason, 9:30. And it's about the same time. I don't know. I mean, it really depends on challenges, timeouts, things like that. People are stupid on Thursday nights. It gets crazy. But that's what I'm excited about, Amy. Good question, though. I love the questions. Not the AFC East, the NFL. Absolutely love this stuff, man. Loving it. That's a good. Yeah, and Amy, you're right. It's a good matchup, right? You saw what happened in the AFC divisional round when the Kansas City Chiefs were down 500 points in the first quarter, had the lead by halftime, right? So yeah, it's a good matchup. We're looking forward to it. Who can we not beat? Who is a lock to beat us? Nobody, says Jack Patrick. Yeah, I think you're correct. Again, if we would have played Kansas City on a Sunday, Monday, I might give you them. But playing them on Thursday in Buffalo, I think we have a chance to beat them. I don't think we have a chance to beat them. I think we should beat them. I think that's absolutely something we should do. We have Seattle at home, so it's a West Coast team coming east, and we know about the troubles that happened there. We know that Seattle is a second half team, second half of the season team most of the time, so we know it's going to be a tough game. I'm not saying it's not going to be tough, but as you said, Jack, we can beat them. You talk about the divisional games, we can go 6-0 against our division this year. I truly believe that. I think Sean McDermott's going to coach us up to the fact that, hey, we can't take our foot off the gas pedal. We can't do that. We have to be able to take each game one opponent at a time, and each week we're 0-0, and each week we have to win. We have to win. Each week is a must-win game in the NFL. You want that number 1 seed more than ever when it comes to playoffs. More than ever. You're the only team that gets a bye week, right? And a team like the Bills, I can tell you this right now, a team like the Bills will do great with the bye week. You have those teams like the Saints, the Colts when they had Peyton Manning, who they were all about timing, right? All about rhythm, all about timing. And you weren't sure if you wanted to break that up. You weren't sure if you wanted to give them a week off. And you were especially sure you didn't want to give them 2 weeks off if they sat their players week 17. You didn't want to do that because they're a timing team. This Bills team, come January in Buffalo, they're going to pound the hell out of the ball. They're going to beat you because they're just going to run right through you. Zach Moss, Devin Singletary, they're going to plow your ass over, and there's nothing you can do about it. In Buffalo, in January, you're not going to throw the ball. I don't care if you're Patrick Mahomes. You look the other way when you're passing the ball because you're not going to know where it's going, and you don't want to see that shit. You don't want to see it because it's going to be bad. It's going to be bad. But you want that home field advantage more than ever. You want that number 1 seed. And if that includes going 16-0, then go 16-0. But you got to do it 1 week at a time. 1 week at a time. So for the 3rd time in 4 years, we're playing the Jets week 1. This time it's in our home turf. And listen, guys, we have to do better than 4-4 at home. Last 2 seasons, the Bills have gone 4-4 at home. That's not going to get the job done. 6-2 at home. That's what I want. That's what I expect. So let's go there. Let's go there. I'm trying to read some of these comments. Daniel, yeah, I called my shot. Absolutely. Someone's talking about the Ravens. The Steelers might come back and win that division if Ben's healthy. If Ben stays healthy the whole year, the Steelers got a great shot. Remember that defense last year? That defense, I know the Bills beat them, okay? I'm happy the Bills beat them in Pittsburgh, 17-10. I loved it. I loved every second of it. I was watching it with a Steelers fan, so to rub it in his face a little bit and make the playoffs for the first time. Well, actually, first time in 2 seasons, but to feel great about making the playoffs for the first time in a long time was an amazing feeling. Amazing feeling. But you had Duck Hodges. You didn't even have their 2nd-string quarterback. You didn't even have their 3rd-string quarterback. You had their 4th-string quarterback playing for them. So I think the Steelers are going to be a legitimate threat to the AFC North, to the Baltimore Ravens. And you can never count the I was going to say you can never count the Ravens, but that's who Lamar Jackson plays for. So, but yeah, you got the Chiefs. Obviously, are going to be a juggernaut all the time. As long as I have Patrick Mahomes, and Andy Reid together, I think you have to worry about them just like you would Brady Belichick. Now, I'm not saying, don't get me wrong, I did not say that they're going to be the next 20-year dynasty. I think that's a myth. I think a 20-year dynasty is not going to happen again for another 100 years, okay? The 20-year dynasties don't happen. They just don't happen, okay? So, but you know they're going to be a threat. You know they're going to be dangerous, okay? And then in the South, who knows what's going on in the South, right? Houston's going to trade 17 more players before the season starts, so who knows? Bill O'Brien's gonna do something crazy. You know, give me the Colts. Give me the, I don't know, not the Texans. Not the Jaguars. Titans, you know, you like Derrick Henry, give me the Titans. I just really don't know. But the Colts have Rivers now, so that's going to be a good one. All depends on Big Ben's comeback. Yeah, absolutely. Which rookie jersey am I going to get? Rule of thumb of me, and it's a more recent rule of thumb. I bought a Sammy Watkins jersey when we got him. Sammy Watkins, remember that conversation last video ago? And ever since that trade, I have promised myself, and remember I'm an old man now, so I can make this promise. I'm not a young kid. And if you're a young kid, doesn't be young. I loved being young. Enjoy it. But I'm only going to buy jerseys after they retire. After they've been a Buffalo Bill lifer, that's when I'll buy their jerseys. Next jersey I plan to buy, Kyle Williams. That's the next jersey I gotta buy. Let's pretend for a second. Let's take the clock back 5-10 years. What jersey would I buy out of all of the rookies? Which one would I buy? Gabe Davis. Gotta go with Davis. I don't know why I have a soft spot for wide receivers, apparently, getting the Sam Watkins jersey. Before that, I had an Eric Moulds jersey. But yeah, give me Gabriel Davis. I'm not even a fan of the wide receiver position overall, but give me Gabe Davis, I think, yeah. That's where I'd go. Dirty Rant says, I got Allen's jersey. I hope to get Allen's jersey in about 15 years when he retires as a Buffalo Bill. But again, guys, thank you. What sucks? I don't know what sucks, Jack, but if you say it sucks, I believe you. But guys, again, I want to go over what we talked about right now. My first jersey of all time was Josh Allen. Hey, good. That's great, Jack. That's great. And again, I hope in 15 years I can join you and have that jersey, and maybe in about, you know what? If I ever go to Hawaii, I'll buy a Josh Allen jersey. We can hang out together, both wearing our Josh Allen jerseys. How's that sound? But guys, I just want to go over some of the things we talked about. Obviously, we talked about Josh Allen and Matt Barkley meeting with the Buffalo Bills draft picks. We talked about, what else we talked about? I'm going nuts. Dion Dawkins, we had to say earlier today about the Buffalo Bills being the underdogs. We are, guys. We are. We can't look past this season. This season's gonna be huge. We can't look past the Jets. We can't look past the Dolphins. We can't look past the Patriots. We can take it one game at a time. So we talked about that. We talked about Josh Norman's comments on TMZ. And, of course, we talked about our friend, our buddy, Ezra Castro. Again, this is the 1-year anniversary of the death of Pancho Villa. But he's never left our thoughts. He's never left our prayers. He's never left any of that, guys. So make sure you keep the family in your thoughts today and forever. And again, if you haven't already donated, they are accepting donations still for kids' backpacks. So make sure if you haven't donated, you get a chance to do that. I know times are tough, guys, and I wish all of you nothing but the best. In whatever you're doing, and you know, if you're furloughed from your job, if you've been fired from your job, I sympathize with you, and I just wish you all the best. Or if you get back to work, you know, during this time, I wish you nothing but safety as things begin to get back to normal. And I am excited for things to begin to get back to normal. But nothing beats football season. So as long as everything's back to normal by August, I'll be all right. I'll be all right. So it's funny. It's funny to see everything that's going on, and I hope that you guys continue to have success in whatever you are doing. Again, guys, whether it be Dan Mitchell, again, guys, join Dan Mitchell on Wednesday evenings now for his live stream every Wednesday night. Thank you for your super chat, Scott. Always appreciate your super chat. Daniel had a good question. How does Bill O'Brien still have a job? That is a great question. I can't answer that. You know, I wish I could stay another 20 minutes and answer why I think Bill O'Brien still has a job. I don't know why Bill O'Brien still has a job. I have no idea. No idea. But, you know, we asked that same thing about Jason Garrett for a long time. We asked, remember Marv Lewis, man. He had a job in Cincinnati for way too long. You know, like 10 years too long. So who knows? Who knows? But as you guys can tell, I got a little excited towards the middle of the stream, and I'm going to calm down a little bit. But thank you all for joining me on this edition of Believers Talk. If you're not watching this live, make sure you hit that thumbs up button, like this video, leave a comment. Always enjoy getting back to you guys. Again, Scott, Dan, thank you for the donations. Obviously, all my donations go back to the channel. Amy, Jack, all you guys who are Dirty Randy, all of you guys that have contributed, Daniel, William, to the chat. I appreciate it. If I missed you in the chat, I apologize. I do watch these every day, the next day, and just see the chats I missed because you guys are hilarious. You guys make this channel run. Without you guys, this channel is nothing, and it doesn't even exist at this point. So I really appreciate all you guys, all your support. Jack, you know, I was just fitting my what you sent me in the mail for my window down in the basement. I'm gonna put that as my curtain for my window down here. So I appreciate everything you guys do. I'm gonna watch some TV. I'm gonna get ready to go bed. I'm gonna try to calm down. I hope I amped you all up because this season's coming. It's coming like a freight train, baby, and I hope you guys are on it, and I hope you guys are on it right here on Believers Talk. So again, if you haven't hit that subscribe button, I don't know what you're doing. Hit that subscribe button, like this video, and leave a comment. You know we're going to keep you updated on all Buffalo Bills news. We're going to keep you amped up as the season goes on. AJ wishes he has anything but a Bengal. Hey, it is what it is at this point, right? It is what it is. So, again, thank you guys for joining me on Believers Talk. Go Bills. I look forward to talking to you all soon. Until I do, go Bills.